As a Castlevania fan, I'm very excited about the recognition which the series is starting to regain. We've been treated to appearances of both Simon and Richter Belmont in Smash Bros, a spiritual successor in Bloodstained, a PS4 port of Symphony of the Night and Rondo of Blood, and a Netflix animated series. However, with all this Castlevania buzz, I have to wonder, does the series itself have a future? Typically I feel that these kinds of topics are unnecessary as common subjects of this discussion on the internet are strangely those which churn out titles once per year. No, I feel that this discussion is appropriate for Castlevania as the period when it was pumping out games annually was a decade in the past. There are several reasons why the series could get a second chance, known as a Minotaur in the room acting as a thorn in its side. I hope to discuss each of these with you in this video. Firstly, it's pretty clear that audiences enjoyed the Netflix adaptation of Dracula's Curse, so popular that a third series got greenlighted. If it can reel in viewers who are unfamiliar with the games, then there is a chance that more interest could be sparked about them. In an ideal world, something new may get requested should the older games receive enough attention. Akin to what happened with Pokemon Go and how that managed to attract newcomers to the main series of games. If the Netflix series could reach the top 20 in demand for 9 different countries, then touch wood, this will boost the sales of Castlevania Requiem, which in turn could encourage the development for another stab at the series. You could argue that some may become alienated if this new game doesn't focus on Castlevania 3's cast of characters. Although the new Pokemon Go audience didn't seem to be uncomfortable with the new designs on the covers of the Generation 7 games. Partially because the series is known for keeping the fan favourites from the original titles at the forefront. I'm personally not one for excessive fan service in a piece of work, although I do respect the notion that a game which is trying to ease newcomers should rely on a few familiar ideas. Thankfully, Castlevania often clings to specific characters and concepts, which makes creating a beginner-friendly title less of a challenge. Dracula almost always makes an appearance, Belmont's and or the Vampire Killer are to be expected, and the likes of Alucard or the Bellnades will sometimes show up. Introducing the series' world and lore therefore shouldn't be much of an issue if something ever gets released. You could argue that the existence of Bloodstained may conflict with the idea of creating any new Castlevania titles, whether they be platformers or more like Metroids. However, the Mega Man series was able to continue even after Mighty No. 9, and Sonic could a new retro-style game despite the existence of Freedom Planet. If these two examples are anything to go by, then it's likely that Castlevania will be able to cope as well. Ideally, Bloodstained could encourage an influx of future titles for its spiritual predecessor, although this is where Freedom Planet and Mighty No. 9 begin to lack weight as examples. Mighty No. 9 was considered by many to be a failure, and Freedom Planet was somewhat underground in terms of popularity. Yooka-Laylee is also worth mentioning here. Many members of the game's development team worked on the older Banjo-Kazooie titles, yet it was almost as controversial as Mighty No. 9. Just because a successor like this exists, doesn't instantly mean that it's a series' kiss of life. Thankfully, Bloodstained's companion game Curse of the Moon was met positively with fans, so that's at least a glimmer of hope for when the true release is completed. However, regardless of what happens with both the Netflix show and Bloodstained, one obstacle remains that arguably is the largest influence over the series' future. The Castlevania series is unfortunately owned by one of the most reviled game companies in this current decade. If Konami put Metal Gear and Silent Hill in directions that upset audiences, then odds are they could do the same with Castlevania. I'm aware that the series received a pachinko machine like Metal Gear Solid 3 did, so at least that's something to work with in terms of where the series stands with the company right now. In fact, they're already on thin ice with the fanbase considering how they have only put Requiem on the PS4. For this case now I'm going to have to play devil's advocate as Sony themselves have contributed to the game's development. However, just because I defended them here doesn't change the fact how I believe that the series' future is cloudy in Konami's hands. Igarashi won't be coming back anytime soon considering his disagreements with the company's current direction. If they were able to create a Metal Gear title without the hands of the series' most well-known director, then they could probably do it with Castlevania as well. Said title probably wouldn't be of any genre that the series has ever delved into before. Knowing our luck, we might end up getting a Castlevania Battle Royale or something. Overall, I don't think we should completely rule out the idea of a new game. I can't guarantee the quality of a comeback, nor can I see one get released in what's left of this decade. I personally wouldn't be over the moon about another Castlevania title regardless of its quality, but that's just my stance towards prolonging a series creeping in. I lean more towards the thought of most of the games getting ported to this current generation of consoles. Something akin to the Mega Man Legacy Collection or Sonic's 1 and 2 on the mobile systems would be a real treat. I should probably end this before it becomes a wish list. Hello, did you enjoy this video? If you did, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to this channel. We're still growing, so all the support we can get will be appreciated. If you have anything else to add to this discussion, please leave a comment. I'll be sure to respond to as many of these as possible.